Oh, there we go. There we go.
I pushed a button.
That's it. You're in. We're in. What's going on today?
Well, I guess it's cold outside.
It's cold. Where you at? Where you located?
East Tennessee.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty cold there?
Well, for East Tennesseans, I'm from the Midwest, so it's like, you know, watching YouTube videos of Southerners saying how they can't drive
Yeah.
when there's a little bit of ice and stuff. Are you in Missouri?
I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
a cool town.
yeah, it is a cool town. Yeah, it's really grown up a lot, you know. We're getting the World Cup and the Chiefs became a dynasty and they rebuilt downtown, so it's good, man. It's really good.
I remodeled a J.C. Penney, I think it's in Overland Park.
Okay? Yeah.
What a place that is,
Yeah.
man.
Uh-huh.
Well, I never gone into a grocery store where they would like have a wine bar and just yeah, it's got some
Money. That's where all the
yeah.
athletes live. That's where all the doctors and socialites and high society. It's something else over there. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, I like KC well. And hey, I think did I send you both of my books?
Yes, you did. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure which way you wanted to shape the conversation, if you wanted to talk about the pandemic or if you wanted to talk about the Iraq War. I wasn't sure.
I want to really kind of touch on a lot of those things. You know, coming from jazz radio, I tend to riff, but I really want to get into the pulse of you as a creator, your life. It's very eclectic. But yeah, I want to touch on the pandemic. I want to get into your books. I want to get into who you are, where you came from, all of those good things, and just have a good organic conversation. Well, you ready to hop in? You got any other questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Kenny, it's great to meet you, sir. Thank you so much for taking a minute out for the program today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So before we get into it, I always begin with the pandemic. 6 years ago, changed all of our lives. How did
Yes.
you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you live and do things today?
I got crushed. I got crushed. My life became a country song.
Wow.
I was about halfway through my second novel, and it really threw a twist into the plot. And I incorporated what was going on with the characters I had already developed. And but on a personal level, my girlfriend at the time had to split because she had a compromised immune system. And so we had no idea in the early days. We thought we were in the middle of the plague, right?
Yeah.
And she took her dog. My lease was up. I got furloughed
Wow.
and I had to move. And so but Donald Trump did send me a check for $1,200 one time. I remember that.
Yeah.
So the pandemic reshaped a lot of the ways in which we think about things. And as I was writing the second part of my book and incorporating how in the first few months the characters were reacting, mostly because of hardship, losing their employment and whatnot, dating was impossible. It was the first time in 100 years that a guy could not take a girl on a date to a dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
And it was astonishing. And I just battled my way through it until the powers that be decided that I was what was that term that was used? I was furloughed, but I was non-essential.
Right.
Oh, I was working construction, and so if you had a government contract in Seattle at the time, was where I was living in Seattle land, building their light rail system,
Hmm.
that was essential.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How about you? How did you make it through?
I got out and saw the world. I had a couple of kids that were in middle school, going into high school. So it was all about getting out. There was a lot of nature preserves, a lot of land out here in Kansas City. So it was getting out. And I ramped up a lot of the interviews that I was doing with jazz musicians. And since the kids were out of school, I was playing the interviews on speaker and they were listening to them. And jazz musicians tend to be resoundingly positive human beings. So it was
Yeah.
really good to get all of that as a backdrop. But it was, yeah, it was really, my whole philosophy was it had a monopoly on us. There was no other choice. So make the best out of it and, try to see the other side of it.
Not me, man. I joined the resistance right away. I but living in the Pacific Northwest, they shut things down so quickly.
Yeah,
And one point of note I'd like to say is that um, not a lot of people are talking about the pandemic,
right.
and it's weird. I mean, I'm like, okay, I've written this book. It's Pinup Dolls and Classic Cars, a COVID love story.
Yeah,
And I'm looking around, I'm like, well, there's got to be a bazillion books by now that's got COVID in the title. And there's not. And I don't think there is, at least.
yeah,
But my book continues to, it ends around the summer of 2020. So it basically encapsulates the first 6 months. And so I get to bring the reader to all those fun things that we used to do, like when you stop at the stop and go
yeah.
and you're going in the store and you forget your mask, you got to turn around and go right back into your car.
Uh-huh.
It happened a million times.
Uh-huh. That's what I did.
People driving their cars with their mask on. There's no one else in the car.
I know. That's the most bizarre
Um,
thing.
they shut down the golf courses, and just one after another of just crazy, insane, doesn't make any sense what they're telling us. They shut down the churches
Yeah.
immediately,
Yep.
and Christians are very, very compliant. And we
Yeah.
got back in and it's like, oh, hey, the choir is all wearing masks. That really sounds like Dick.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Yeah.
don't know how God feels about it, but
Yeah. It was bizarre. Very bizarre. All the things. I remember at one point watching, my son was really into sports and we were trying to figure out what we were going to watch because everything was shut down. So we got into bowling. And I remember there was PSAs that were showing, and it was like everything we were taught in kindergarten about how we make eye contact, we shake hands, we come together. All these civil pieces of human discourse were completely thrown out of the window. All these decades of living on this planet were thrown out, like 6 feet apart. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't, it was just all very dystopian the way it was all unraveling. It was wild.
I think that people got, well, I came to the conclusion is that um, you can tell when you're living under tyranny when the powers that be are making you do things that are obviously absurd, such that you go into a restaurant, you have to wear your mask to enter. But once you sit down to order your food, it's like this magic bubble comes around you,
Uh-huh.
right? And obviously that was absurd. And I'm a goofball by nature. And it's like, well, they didn't shut down the pot shops
Right.
or the liquor stores because
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, I mean, I was a beer drinker back then. And I'm like, if you shut down the liquor stores, I'm going to find a brick. I'm going to throw it through somebody's window. I
Uh-huh.
mean, so they had to keep the peasants from rioting.
Yeah.
Uh, but the shutting down the restaurants going out of business left and right. And
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah, it was
it's
it was
maybe that's why people don't want to think about it is
that
because it was,
true. That's what I'm thinking. It's just something that people want to put away. So let me ask you this.
yeah.
Right now in your life, if we were to encapsulate what you do for a living, I'm going to put you in front of 12-year-olds at career day. One of the kids wants to know what you do for a living. How do you answer that child?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I actually went to career day with my daughter. It was quite some time ago. I was as a soldier, I was still on the trail. I was training troops in between deployments. So I show up on career day and I got my uniform on. I got my Kevlar helmet. I got my Kevlar vest, gloves, my Motorola, different things on my uniform and stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you the story, but anyway, I told that we have Velcro patches, and to start off as an icebreaker, I had the kids say, "Okay, now rip off the patches off my uniform." And at the end, you don't have to put them back on me. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking questions of the kids. They're asking, they're a little bit shy. And then there was this one kid, Joey, I think his name was. Yeah, Joey. I really had a problem with that kid. And of course, what's he going to ask me? Did you shoot anybody?
Uh-huh, of course.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. So I said, no, 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 Joey. I was in the engineers. We built things. Did we built roads, we built schools and things like that. And um, I said, but because we had the bulldozer and everything, and we were there at the very beginning, we did have to help with burying the bodies. And everyone was kind of, kids were looking at me, what the? I'm like, yeah, Joey, I even still have the 10-digit grid coordinates of where we did that.
Oh no.
So you never know, Joey, where there might be a graveyard unmarked. It could even be in your own backyard. And the kids start screaming. The teacher's crying.
Oh no.
Joey's got this big smile on his face, and I knew my presentation was over.
Oh no.
I didn't do this, Joe. That's but I was a career day. I crushed it.
Yeah.
I didn't scare the children. I didn't. I really did.
I love that story though.
I was feeling pretty cool that day because I was in uniform and the
Oh,
whole.
totally. You were the guy. You were the one they all wanted to be. So let me ask you this. When you were that age, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream gig?
I wanted to be a real estate developer from an early age. I wanted to like wear the neon. This is like in the 70s. I wanted to wear a plaid blazer. I wanted to buy shopping malls. I wanted to
Oh
make a lot
yeah.
of money.
So what was it about your childhood? Where were you born and raised?
Um, Pardon me. Los Angeles,
Okay.
1968, when the same day that RFK was assassinated. I was
Wow.
born, yeah, within like hours of each other. My parents escaped California and moved to Texas. So I lived in Houston, Texas, and then my father got a job in Milwaukee and thus launched my beer drinking career. And since then, I've lived in so many different places. Um, After about 30, I just stopped counting,
Wow.
just moving around, mostly through the service, but also with my construction career as a traveling superintendent. It
Yeah.
was have hammer, we'll travel.
Who, so who's been your hero? Who's been your inspirational force in your life to get to this point of writing stories and living the life you've lived? Who's been that for you?
I would say, well, Jesus es numero uno.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm bilingual. I don't know if you knew that,
Yeah,
but
I do. I do now.
um, I really liked Ronald Reagan when I was a kid, and then he started losing it towards the end. Johnny Bench
Yeah.
was, was one of my heroes.
Yeah.
So some sports figures. Maybe it's not a good idea to have politicians as heroes.
Oh, I mean, I guess it all depends on who it is, but I remember growing up with Reagan, and he was the guy that would calm us down. He had the ultimate leadership. Like after the shuttle exploded, after things happened, he would get on there, and he was just always so eloquent and good about calming us down. And as kids, he was the president. It was the Roaring '80s. Let's go. But it was always that voice at the end of the day where we're all like, "What's going on with the world?" He just had that calming effect. He was a leader. He exemplified a level of leadership.
Yeah, he was. Um, it's too bad that he was getting dementia. We didn't know it during
Yeah.
Iran-Contra. There's only a few years later, anecdotally, someone gave him a little model of the White House, and he looked at it and he held it in his hands. He's like, I know this has something to do with me, but I don't know what it is.
Wow.
So, but as far as influences, my maternal grandfather had a huge influence on me. He could do anything. And he taught me that as a man, if you want to eat good, for example, then you do the cooking. Why pay people to fix your house? You do it yourself.
Yeah.
So you take the kids fishing, you come home, you grill it up. You take care of mama, you take care of family, you work your jobs. You got to be able to be good uh, to do everything, basically. Work on your car when you
Yeah.
could still work on your car.
Yeah. So what made you write? What were there authors early on? What was the idea to get your story on paper? What impelled you to do that?
I was in Iraq for the first time, and I knew I had a great story. Uh, I was in my early 30s at the time, but I had the interest when I was a kid as far as creative writing is concerned, and I took creative writing courses in college. I didn't have anything, I couldn't figure out nothing to write about. And then life comes and kicks you in the ass over and over and over again until finally it's like, well, the starving artist stuff sounded like a good idea, but I have to actually get out there and earn money. And unfortunately, our dreams fade away. Joe, it's like I wanted to be a rock and roll star, didn't
Uh-huh.
you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wanted to be Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I guess it ain't gonna work. But then I was on the road. I was in West Virginia and I was bored. And I started writing down my goofy adventures when I was in Iraq. And like I just be cutting the grass, for example, and these little vignettes would play in my brain.
Yeah.
And so I had the thing written in my head because I'd experienced it. It's it's a fiction book, but it's primarily autobiographical.
Yeah.
And so it was a matter of it's got to come out. I got to write it down. And it became fun as hell. And I could drink beer at night and write. And then you look at what you wrote the next morning, you're like, well, how drunk was I? This doesn't make any sense at all. Or it could be, this was really good.
Yeah.
So you got to throw a lot away, in the process. And I just found that I think it's going to keep my brain. It's like brain push-ups.
Mhm.
Nothing pleases my brain more than that creative element. It's just having that bandwidth and the discipline to carve out time in your day to do it.
So when that first box of books came in the mail, you saw your name on it, you saw the story was out in the world. What was that feeling like?
I was proud, but being an indie author, it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
The discovery, the discovery curve, the learning curve has been steep and two steps forward, one step back type of thing. It's like it only took me 50 years to write my first novel. Now what do I do? Well, you got to find an editor. How do I do that? Because I've been working in construction and soldering, so I don't have all the nifty contacts,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and or a mentor to say, okay, this is what you should do now. But I got my book on Amazon and I found a producer, luckily, and we did the audiobook. And I wrote, and I couldn't be one and done, so I had to write another one.
Yeah.
And again, it was like, what am I going to write about? I mean, I figured out the war in Iraq to my own satisfaction. I was there in the very beginning and I was there at the end. And I'd like to ask your opinion about it too, about the overall.
Yeah.
But again, what to write about. And so I was looking for another idea and I went to a car show. I saw pinup dolls there. And I thought, that's a thing? I mean, like Noah's Ark, World War II, pinup dolls, Jane Russell, that type of thing. And there are clubs all over the country and they pair up and they with car clubs splendidly. I saw that and I'm like, there it is. There's my cast of characters. Boom, right there.
Yeah.
And so I just started writing about them. Does that answer your
Yeah,
what
it
you're
does. And what you write is refreshing. And I will tell you one thing. I love the air fresheners. Not only do they smell good, they look attractive. I loved them. And it was just such a nice touch because I get media in the mail between jazz radio and covering, books and writers. Like anytime there's an extra touch that goes in there, it's spot on. I was totally impressed. I was totally lured, and it just made. But I think again, the Iraq War. I think a lot of those wars that we were in. I think it's kind of like COVID. People just kind of gloss over it. Like we always get inundated with World War One and World War Two, Vietnam, Korean War. But those modern wars that happened, I mean, it was the same architecture as any other war, and there was the same level of verity. And I think writing and weaving those stories out, and especially soldiers that have had that opportunity to write about it, it's a catharsis. I think there's a level of healing
Hmm.
that goes into it. It's like you have your regular person that hasn't been in the military that journals or does things to get their feelings out. But I think when you get back as a soldier serving this country, there's a part of you that's just kind of like, all right, there you go. Go ahead. Just live your life. But I think when you can write and you can pull people in to understand history and to get your soul expunged, so to speak, I think that catharsis is wonderful.
Writing is therapy.
Yeah.
In my research, the treatment of the war in Iraq is heavy on the special operators,
Yeah.
the infantry officers, the kinetic stuff. And for good reason,
Yeah.
because it's high drama because it's life and death and whatnot. My perspective, I'm coming out of left field because as an engineer, I'm not throwing lead down range.
Yeah.
And being there in the very beginning in 2003, it was the Wild West. That's what people called it, and it was.
Yeah.
There's 8 million. We were in Baghdad, population of 8 million people with 50,000 troopers, and the militias were going crazy. The um, roving gangs in this huge, megalopolis, and the insurgency hadn't started yet. And we were so cool. We were driving around Baghdad with our sunglasses and light weapons, no up armored, nothing. Kids are giving us the thumbs up, Young guys are staring us down like, you wait, type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's a mixed bag, but I did things oddly. Chapter 6 of Scoundrels in Iraq, An Engineer's Adventures, is why I stole a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did some things that were, it's kind of like Kitchen Confidential,
Yeah.
where you kind of like say, hey, guess what? Thank you for telling us how wonderful we are. But if you knew the shit that we actually did, right?
Yeah.
There's a saying in the military that there are no thieves in the military except for one time. One time someone stole something, and since then everybody's just trying to get their shit back.
That's it.
So the rules change when you go down range.
Yeah, for sure. So, of all of these adventures that you've been on in your life, everything that you've done, overcome, and accomplished, and more importantly, evolved to, what are you the proudest of?
I've been through heart failure twice, and actually I stowed away to Iraq because of it. But as long as big pharma is still in business, I'll be okay. So what I'm proud of is the fact that when my feet hit the carpet in the morning, it's like it's bonus time.
Yeah.
Just being I'm retired. I'm very happy about that. I can do what I want,
Yeah.
but just continuing to function, continuing to produce, to do, good things. I'm pretty proud of the fact that, I'm not just working on my golf game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for anyone that picks up your book, anybody that comes across either of your books and they see the cover and they're like, who is this Kenny guy? So, I'm going to ask you this. Everyone has a perception of you: family, friends, all of your readers, fans, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I call myself a goofball, Joe, but I know I am wrapped way too tight. I'm wrapped way too tight. I guess that people would say that I was generous and I try to help people out. But you wouldn't know that if you listened to me talking to customer service. I just I have a hot. Sometimes it's I don't suffer fools very easily.
Yeah.
So I think that there are good qualities, but I think we focus on where we need to improve. But
Yeah.
I don't get down on myself. I'm a student of the Bible, and so I can shake a lot of things off, you know.
Yeah.
Being resilient, that was a another catchphrase these days.
Yeah.
So I think I'm resilient as hell.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
I'm I'm 57 or 58. I don't can't remember.
all right.
Uh I'm still here. I'm still
Yeah.
plugging away.
Yeah. So I'm going to urge everyone to go out and get Pinup Dolls and Classic Cars, a COVID love story, as we talked about with COVID, Scoundrels in Iraq. This has been absolutely wonderful. I really appreciate you taking a minute out. I will put all of the links in the show notes. And I got to know, of all the places that you've lived in, all of the globetrotting you've been on, what is one of the what was one of the best places you lived in that was unexpectedly wonderful that you loved?
Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where I am right now.
Okay, so you're
It's
there.
it's got a symphony, it's got culture, it's got a double A baseball team.
Yeah,
There's a Costco not too far away,
that's it, man.
and I'm o- I, I'm good.
You got all the ingredients. That's the way it is here in Kansas City. We got minor league baseball, we got the Costco, we got the symphony, we got the arts and culture. It's good, man, And you don't have to deal with traffic probably.
It's so slight that compared to Seattle or
Oh,
Washington or Atlanta or Chicago,
yeah.
it's a joke. So it's real kickback. I'm in a good place.
That's a walk in the park. Kenny, this has been an absolute honor, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking a minute out today. Best of luck with everything. It's been wonderful.
Thanks. I have one more question before we stop.
Yes, sir.
When do you think this will air?
I will have it out tomorrow.
Really?
I'm
Okay.
like I'm like the Doonesbury comic where the guy has all the papers on his desk and he starts getting buried. If I don't do it quick, I'll just get buried. So I get after it and get it done. So I will send links over, and then when I get that link from you, I'll send over the raw data real quick.
Awesome. Well, if you would like to discuss the books in greater detail, just let me know. If you have some questions, we kind of skim the surface.
We did, and that's why I like to really get into kind of the heart of who you are and then go from there. So let's reschedule this. Let's schedule this down the line so that I can really dig more into the books and then but this is a good intro and then we'll get into it more.
I'll hit you up in a couple months, Joe.
Sounds good, man. Kenny, it's been an honor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care.